So I'm here to talk about some ideas and best practices that I found help me out while trying to manage the DevOps platform roadmap and work. So who am I? My name is André. I am from Margem Sul of Lisbon, which is the subject people from there tend to be very proud about. I'm a huge Tolkien fan. Feel free to talk to me about it later. And more importantly, I'm a software engineer for the past 5 years at OutSystems. I am currently leading an SDLC team, and my hate for manual operational work, and my strive to find the value behind the work really hit a high when I started leading a team, and I really wanted my team to understand the value behind what we are doing. And that was a problem that I had to solve. So in OutSystems, we have in many ways trying to enable the DevOps mindset with culture, processes, and tools. And currently, we are moving towards a platform engineering. And so we had to evolve too, and we started building our DevOps platform. Building platforms can be a lot of fun, especially at the beginning. However, like any company that has some years, we can't just stop everything. Everything needs to keep running. We need to be working on things, and they can't stop. And that brought some challenges on the part of planning that I want to address here today. So what do we do about planning? So at our organization, we use the Safe Agile framework, where a key element is the program increments planning, where we divide some time of the year into program increments, and we actually planned and try to align everything on the teams to make sure we're going in the right direction. And what we do is we have engineering aligned with the company strategy, starting with a product tech vision all the way to the team's user stories and backlogs. How is this done? So there are a lot of people involved that define the business goals that we want to achieve. The initiatives are done, value milestones are refined together with product designers and leadership, and then everything boils down to epics that are distributed between teams, and everyone starts refining their backlogs in ways to achieve those. And also goals and value milestones with acceptance criteria are created all around the product and the features that we want to deliver. Already we can see some problems with this, because the platform teams, they deliver value, but not exactly direct value to customers. A lot of the times the value is indirect. We're actually enabling our internal teams to deliver value. And also we don't have all those roles that the product teams usually have, refining the strategy all the way down to us. Although we know where we want to do, we know where we are going, we don't have all that are available to us. But we still want to be aligned with them, because the cool thing about this is that this framework is really good at aligning dependencies and work behind goals. So we still want to be part of it. So what I started to understand was that we have 3 kinds of work. So we have the platform work that will enable us to build our platform and might not have value directly in the current program increment we are planning. So it is something that will have a lot of value in the future that we need to do, but is not supported by an initiative right away. Then we have the B work, which is the work that is dependencies for initiatives. So the work that is directly giving value in this program increment. And C, we have the work on depth and acceleration, which is actually the technical depth, the things that are holding us back from delivering more of B and A work. All right, so we can already see that this poses some problems. And what I was observing when I started leading a team was that what we were doing was the contrary. We're starting from the backlog, grabbing all the issues that we had previously planned. We are starting to grouping them into epics and retrofitting them into value milestones with objectives that were not properly done. So we are starting from the down up, and this was not data driven. This was not giving us the results we wanted to make, and it was a lot of planning to do. Okay, so what can we really do about it? This is where it got me thinking, and I started looking for solutions. And what I realized was we were missing those top pieces. But there are ways I found that we can actually fill those missing pieces. So we can start having a top level strategy defined. We can start finding goals that we want to work towards, and have the team measuring success autonomously with metrics that they themselves can influence. So by the end, hopefully, I'll have to explain how I got to top-down planning with data-driven approaches for all types of work that I talked about. So this is the big slide I came up with, the big solution I came up with. So for platform work, we actually usually have a strategy. Teams usually have a North Star that they want to achieve. If they don't, it usually is implicit in their strategy, the way they work. And if they have better, a North Star metric, but if they don't, they can find a metric that actually describes how they are in their progress towards their North Star. And from here, we can find metrics that autonomously measure their way towards there, because even though we have industry metrics, you can talk about DORA or any other metrics, but usually they are influenced by the work on the whole engineering and not just one team. And that is the problem, why we need proxy metrics. About the dependencies, the PI dependency work, those are really easy. Usually product has some initiatives board with some priorities that has dependencies on us, but I argue that we can actually make specific goals that the team can influence autonomously to go towards that and then only start planning. The tricky thing is the depth and acceleration work. So for those, there isn't really a strategy for us to follow. All we want is the ability to deliver with our assets and don't lose time with them so we can focus on the rest of the work. So let's dig deeper into those. So for the platform work, the team has or defines a North Star. There is a path to that North Star driven by a North Star metrics. For DevOps Platform, it's really easy. You can find a DORA metric or an SRE metric that you really like, that gives you the way to your North Star. The North Star should be something daring, something almost unachievable that you want to get to. And then you can find a metric that describes and can be autonomously influenced by our team to reach it. Then we can start planning. Let's go to an example. So let's say we have a North Star that is all changes tested in production. That is our goal. That's our unachievable goal that we want to get to. So we can find a metric that helps us get there, which could be lead time changes in minutes. So we want to reduce that. We want to get to that. But that might be tricky because our team cannot solely influence that, right? The product teams need to also want to get there. We can't do everything by ourselves. So we can start defining some proxy metrics like the number of manual steps to deploy, the average deploy time, or even the number of assets with canary deployments. And those actually can be influenced solely by our team. So with those, we can then define our PI goals. Maybe we want this PI to focus on reducing 60% of manual steps. We want to reduce 20% of the average deploy time, or we want to add canary deployments to 5 new products. That could be our goal for this PI. And only then we start planning. And this is true for other platforms besides DevOps platforms. Suppose we work in infrastructure. We are creating the company cloud infrastructure. So we can have the same thing, infinitely scalable cloud infrastructure. We can have a North Star metric of 99 resource usage, and we can find the metrics like cloud resource prediction error, scale operation time in seconds, and we can define goals for our PI, the same exact thing. So this is cool. Now for the PI planned work, the things that are dependent on us, we can actually use the team North Stars and the North Star metrics that we created to actually drive our objectives in these initiatives also. So starting with the same North Star and North Star metrics, and now we also have some initiative board with some initiative that says launch MongoDB database for apps, which is rank 3. We really need to work on it. They need us for that. And instead of relying on the success metrics defined by product that we can't solely influence, we can actually find our own proxy metric based on the way we want to go to the North Star and the prioritization of product. And we can get, for example, 50% of customers requesting MongoDB integration using it. So all the customers that are requesting will be able to use. And from here, we find the PI goal of 0 manual steps in deploying components with MongoDB by end of PI. And only then we can start planning. And this will go towards the initiative goals, but also towards our strategy. Now, the thing that is more complicated is depth and acceleration work, because you don't actually have a strategy, right? You want your assets to be able to deliver value with all the non-functional requirements and you want that because it will save you a lot of time, so you can work on the other things. And what I found is you can actually use some metrics to define how well your assets are, and from there you can actually plan and give priorities to that work. So let's go a bit deeper. So instead of grouping and going asset by asset, what I propose is let's look at a group of assets that together provide a value to internal customers. So for a value stream, you'd have, like, for example, 4 assets. For a value stream enablement of remote feature toggles, you'd get a portal, a SDK, a cloud infra, and best practices documentation. Together, these make a value stream. And now we evaluate this value stream and get some metrics on how well it is doing. So I divided here into 4 components. So deliver fast with confidence, where you have deploy frequency, lead time to autonomy in delivering. Then we have the deliver the right value. If we are having adoption of our target users, the percentage of future users giving feedback, all that stuff. Then about quality of service, the uptime, delivery excellency, we can have the number of errors, the latency, and we can actually evaluate our assets based on this. If it's not possible, find a proxy metric. Here, what I'm doing is, based on each of these 4 pillars that I talk about, we find some proxy metrics. The most basic thing is have a semaphore, what is acceptable, what is kind of okay, and what is unacceptable, and rate each of our value streams with this. So having said all that, what I found was that we can actually have a map with how well each of our value streams is. And based on that, since we already defined the metrics, we can also have some goals. And here, for example, we have make telemetry queryable in 80% most used cases by the end of PI, measure adoption, develop and release process documented, and those would help us move forward with those 2 columns that our assets are not performing and probably having a lot of technical work and a lot of operational that we are called for. So this way it can be clear for everyone why we need to work on this and why technical debt is important and should be planned for. So when working on this, what I found is using this with my team, the prioritization became clear for everyone. So our teams, everyone, even the most junior developer, was able to really understand the value they were delivering. And also for leadership, it was easy to work with prioritization with them, why it is important for us to invest in depth and acceleration, why we need to evolve our platform, because suddenly we had clear goals and clear metrics that we are measuring our success by. Also, everyone on the team was autonomous, making decisions every day because they now understand what we are striving for, what is our goal, which did not happen that often before. And also, it actually was a lot less work. I know it sounds like a lot of things, but once you have this in place, it actually is a lot less work because you have your goal defined and you are only planning the work you need to achieve that goal. So you're not going through all your backlog, you're focusing on specific goals. Yeah, so if I have to leave you with 3 points, it would be that it is possible to do top-down planning for any kind of work. All kinds of value delivery can be planned with data-driven approaches. And the strategy can also be transparent for everyone, which is a side effect of doing all this. That's it. Thank you.
Did you think, or in practical, by applying those type of strategies help you to get traction on those topics, right? So anything that is kind of gray area for the leadership about the value that he's bringing, right? But how do you guys manage balance the roadmaps? Okay, this you managed to get the value, but still it's quite challenging to balance the roadmaps of our product teams between the business features and the ones that comes from you, right? So how do you guys manage that with it? It can be with the same framework or a more abstract answer.
So we are doing the same planning as the other teams. We are involved with them. The cool thing about this is that suddenly it was really easy for me to explaining to my boss, hey, these are the goals we can achieve, pick the ones you want. And it was really easy to show him that technical debt, how we are doing, because teams that are getting all the support and all that, they know how bad things are. But now we were able to show, hey, if you let us work these 2 weeks, these 4 weeks on this, it can actually go down. We can actually have a lot more uptime, a lot more speed in delivering something. And the good thing is, if you have a platform in place, all those things I talked about in technical debt, they take care of that for you. But what I found is most often we are working in internal assets. They are not the priority a lot of times. So we need to take care of that. And this helps with that, to prioritize. What we usually do is we try to go for the dependencies as soon as possible, and then balance the platform, future platform work, and the technical debt.
Okay, then I will ask you, you mentioned something that is true also on our side, that is usually the product teams have way more support from PMs and so on to prepare the PI, right? How do you guys got this maturity level? Which roles you got involved with?
For this, I didn't have any role when I started doing this. So basically, we had a strategy line. Our leadership on the SDLC told us, hey, you have these assets, evolve them. I think this is more priority. Let me know what you think. What does your backlog look like? And since we have no PO, no PM, no architect dedicated to us, I was starting like, okay, let's get some data. Let's try to get some objectives, because one of the things was we wanted to work on technical debt. So, but no, it's hard to justify. So having those goals, I was like, okay, you can have these, but then we can also have this. And it was clear what we were getting. And that's how I balanced. I really didn't have roles at the time when I had started working on this.
Okay, cool, thanks.
But I worked with all the teams, so everyone on the team was involved on this.
How do you handle project work, service tasks, all in one work?
So that is one of the cool things, which is if we have things being measured, we, like I told about the semaphore, like we can also look at the toil work and how bad it is and point it out. Here we are having this number of whatever requests per week, and we want to decrease this because this was in these areas, these assets that are really bad. And if we fix that, we'll have a lot more time. We might not need to have one person dedicated the whole time. We might actually save a lot of time that is measurable this way. So yeah, but we need to keep the wheels turning, right? Yeah. No special. Yeah.
But do you reserve capacity?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, we'll do that. But here's this cool goal that will, yeah, it's part of the negotiation.
Okay. Thank you, André.
Thank you.